Hello everyone, thank you so much for checking in to my YouTube channel. This is Jenny, your vintage soul crafter here. And I really appreciate those ladies who have purchased from my Etsy shop journaling kits. And I got a request recently for an ocean theme mermaid journaling kit. And since I absolutely love, adore, my most happy place is the ocean where I can comb the beaches for hours looking for shells and so forth. I said, absolutely. I have been wanting to do one of those. It's been on my list of to-dos. So absolutely. And I have lots of ocean shell books and various other papers and cardstock from Michaels and so forth. So I thought I would share with you all my process of putting together at least part of this kit. I am finishing it up today, and I'll be doing probably at least one more for this season and definitely more next season. The first part of this, you're seeing me go through the different papers and things that I have and the books that I have, and I'm trying to match up as much as I possibly can from different various medias, books, papers, and so on, ephemera that I have, the colors and so on that appeal to me, appeal to my eye, and that fit into this under the sea kind of theme. So that's what I'm doing right here. I'm going through the books. I'm seeing what I like. I'm seeing what is on both sides, like we talked about before, either side of the page, and that can work. And I'm seeing some things that I like and some things that I don't like, but yeah, I love the way these colors, this sort of rosy, not really pink, not really red, but that real pretty soft in between. I love the way that picks up the color in the shells, and the shells pick up the color in the cardstock, the designer cardstock pad that I got from Michaels, which I'm sure many of you have seen. And then of course this, these pages are a little glossy. I apologize for some of the reflection from my lamp, my light. Slowly but surely I'm getting all this YouTube video making things together. But it takes time, and in between that I'm getting things listed on my Etsy store. And that, as I've said, takes a whole lot of time and gives me just a whole new appreciation for the ladies and gentlemen who have Etsy stores and do the photography and all that other good stuff. So I found a couple of photos out of this Time Life book that is in my Goodwill hunting haul from, I think, one of my first Goodwill hunting hauls that I shared with you. We had these books in my house growing up, and I love them. They bring back such fond memories. This particular one with this kind of minty sage green background, I love it. So you see me take my trusty, I just got some of these X-Acto knife pens. I'm really digging them. They're very handy. I got I think it was 3 or 4 different kind in a pack from Amazon. So I love when the books are they're not glued, they're just bound together with some floss, twine like that. Look at that. Isn't that, oh man, I can't get enough. I can't get enough of the ocean. I can't get enough of seashells, and I can't get enough of those colors together. So yeah, I love that. But anyway, it's simple enough when they have just the signatures put together with the twine, and you can go in there and find the center and slice them carefully out. And this book I picked up at my last Goodwill haul. It doesn't have any color. I like it. I'm digging it because it is just the sketches, but not for this. This book is too colorful. There are some, more subdued pages in the vintagey bits and pieces of sheets. But yeah, I just decided that one was too drawn, and these are too vivid. So that didn't quite work for me. You just got to keep on trying things out, holding things up, putting things next to each other. I really enjoy this process, and so wanted to share it with you all. And I didn't really think, when I got all these books and as I continued to collect them, I didn't know exactly what I was going to do with them. And I enjoy making my own journals, but they do take a long time. But I especially enjoy the process of putting these together for other people. And as I said at the beginning, I'm really appreciative of those who have invested in in my Etsy store and purchasing these. I hope that you will enjoy and get great satisfaction and use out of them. I look forward to seeing some photos. Hopefully you will share at some point what you have created with the journaling kits. This one is in particular, as well as I did another one, birds and blooms, with lots of birds and lots of blooms, that I shared for a gal who is here in the States on vacation, but she lives in Canada. Hello to all of our Canada friends out there. I know there are a lot of Canadian junk journalers. So anyway, what I'm doing right now, while you see me putting my fingers down the center of each of these pages in the binding, is I'm trying to see if it is glued, if there is any kind of twine or if it's stitched together, the signatures at all. So this one has a lot of, this is another one that was in my house growing up, you know, with the flip out sheets. That's also from my first Goodwill Goodwill hunting haul. And I was trying to see, there's a lot of photos and pictures in there that are educational, that are of kind of monstrous things from the deep, sort of prehistoric. That's not really the theme of this particular Under the Sea junk journal kit, but I love those images, and I think they would be great, especially maybe like in a kid's, you know, under the sea, ocean themed junk journal, or just plain journal to put together. I'm going to go back to it in just a second. I'm cutting out, I decided there wasn't any signatures that were just held together by twine. And I'm rubbing my finger along where I've sliced it, just for that little bit of extra, you know, without using the knife, running the knife over it again, just to loosen it up a little bit. So yeah, I love the way the green in that underwater plant right there pulls out the seaweed, or I guess it's probably more of a kelp or an anemone. I love the green and the way it brings it out. And so I decide, because of that, that I want some more plants, seaweed, kelp, again, a little bit more of the subdued, the green colors, as well as bringing out the more vibrant green colors, and the kind of lime green and sage green and all of that. They blend so well together. Anyway, you got to go through the books and you got to see which ones. I put that shells book right there. I got that from my mom ages ago, and she just recently gave it back to me, which I really appreciate, so that I could use it in my journaling kits and you know, creative processes and so forth. It's a stunning book. I'm not sure, I don't remember, I guess we'll see in just a minute. I put that there though to get rid of some of that glare for you guys, and now I'm putting paper right there to help get rid of some of that glare. But it's a really lovely book, and like I said, I got it from my mom ages ago because she also loves shells. I'm not sure she's as obsessed as I am, but now I'm just kind of stacking all of the various different pieces together. Again, I apologize for the glare. It's hard on my eyes. Hopefully it's not too distracting for you and your eyes. And I'm just kind of holding things up to see how everything will match up together, and if I'm pleased and happy with the bits and pieces that I have thus far for this kit. So yeah, anyway, this one is for this gal, and she got one of the birds and blooms, lots of birds, lots of blooms kits, and she's down here in the States on vacation from Canada, and she was also going to be going to the Southern California area. That may be where she is now. And so she wanted something with mermaids and ocean and beach and all of that good stuff. So you see one mermaid there, but there's actually more in some of the images that are on the cardstock, as well as some of those other small sheets. I'm pointing at the video. You can't see my finger, but as I'm speaking over this, I'm pointing at it with my finger as if you can see it. I never realized how much I use my hands to speak until I started doing these videos. But yeah, there's some flow sheets. I think those can be cut out and made into boats. I'm not 100% sure, but probably not going to do that with them. Just gonna leave them whole like that, and she can, the receiver, the purchaser, recipient of this sort of semi-custom reserved order on Etsy, she can decide if she wants to use those sheets and cut them out. I kind of paused here for a minute. I'm waiting for myself to come back. I'm not really sure where I went, but had to do something. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Otis was being a busybody back there or something. Oh, there I am. And, oh, I know, I was cutting up these little bits and pieces of more mermaid stuff to go with the flow pages that have mermaid things. And yeah, these are those, you know, kind of ones that are on the sheets that you can then cut apart and so forth. So that's what I'm doing. I am off camera cutting those up into little parts. And then today, actually, some of them have like stitch marks on them. So I went ahead and ran them through. You'll see them at the end. I will add a couple of pictures. And then, of course, this will be on my Etsy store where you can see more photos, and I'll have a link down below. And I'll be getting that listed, if not tonight, tomorrow when I finish it up. And even if it's reserved, you can still look at the pictures, and that just gives her an opportunity, the gal that requested it. I don't know about saying names. I don't have her permission to use her name, so I just want to. If you're watching and you want me to use your name, that's fine. Anyway, so it's reserved, but it's just to give her the option of purchasing it if she likes it and she's happy with it. This one is not necessarily cut to the size of the Reader's Digest books because it doesn't really matter to the young woman who, I think she's young, I don't know. I'm going to say young. She seems young to me, but whatever. Young at heart, no matter how many years you are, that would describe me, but we're not talking about me, we're talking about her. And this journaling kit here, I go on. Anywho, yeah, I love that piece of graph paper. Now I'm just starting to pull out things from my stash that I can add into this. And so I love the graph paper. I have several pieces that are coffee stained or tea stained, some of them a little bit more or less. The crinkle, you know, you got to have that crinkle. It's got to be in a junk journal. A junk journal just isn't a junk journal without the crinkle. And so I'm like off camera kind of getting bits and pieces of various different things from my stash that I want to use and add to this. And yeah, so you're just going to kind of see me piling things on. That's some vellum. That's coffee stained. I did some more. Those were the only two pieces that I had left. So since doing this video, I added some more coffee stained, some more tea stained actually. That's a seahorse that has some other sea life things on it. It's an old dictionary page that's also coffee stained. I really like the vellum when you coffee or tea stain it. It does kind of crinkle up a little bit, but that doesn't bother me. I kind of like and enjoy that aspect of it. So yeah, you're just gonna see me starting to pile things on. I'm thinking about it. I've been pretty much talking this entire time. I don't know, I've never really done a voiceover to this extent before. So I'm gonna shut up for a second and just let you watch. Maybe I'll add some music to this particular section. I don't know, but just enjoy, and I hope you get inspired, and I'll be back with you after I'm done going through all of my stash and piling things on. See ya and talk to you in a minute. And I'm back. So I think I'm just about done piling on any possible items, paper, ephemera, doodads, gizmos, gadgets, etc. that could go into this junk journal. And oh, I guess I'm not. I pull out my bin of goodies, one of my bins of goodies, and I continue to pile things on, it would seem. So yeah, we're gonna just keep doing this for a minute here, and then I'll be back with you again. And I am still piling little bits and pieces of this and that I have stored up onto this. I told y'all I have a lot of ocean, seashore, seaside, shell, etc., items for these junk journal kits. So I am continuing to pull out. Eventually it will end. I will get to the end. although that's not entirely true. I get to the end in this particular video, but I continue to pull out some special little items today. Those are some postcards. They're pretty cool. I used some of that K & Company, one of the favorite. You know, it's kind of blossomy and sort of, I'm talking about those 3 last postcard doodads that I just put on the top there. It's that K & Company. It's one of their favorite, I think, of so many people. I've mentioned it before and I cannot remember what it's called, but it has like ocean kind of theme, but also sort of a floral thing and birds and fish, and it's really funky cool. It's just like layers and layers of images on top of each other and graph paper and all that. So, and those were these really thick kind of cardstock postcard things that I got ages ago. And anyway, I only had 3 of them, and this is a 4 signature journal that I'm making, so I probably won't include those in this one, and I need to cover that last little one that's on the top. It's not cardstock, it's called chipboard. That's what it is. And then it has like postcard image on one side. So they're really, I like those. I don't even know where I got those from. So anyway, I'm continuing to go. I'm starting to get bored with myself. I hope you all aren't. I hope you're still tuning in. So yeah, that was like that washi that you, it's like pages, little squares, 6x6 squares of washi. I got it at Joann's a couple years ago. I haven't used it for anything. One of these days I will, but the colors just didn't work for me. So this is one of my little stashes of coffee stained, coffee dyed index cards. I don't know if I'll end up putting these in here or not. But I like the way they look because they just go with that whole like oceany seashore, under the sea. I'm calling this under the sea, and you're going to see a little, and if I ever finish piling stuff onto this to include or to just go through, again, this is process video. This is just me gathering things up. But you'll see here in a moment that under the sea, Little Mermaid. And here we go. Okay, so gadgets and gizmos aplenty, who's its and what's its galore. Since this is mermaid themed, I gathered up little like treasured chest bits and pieces, and it was inspired by that heart locket charm that I showed right there. So, and this is that, if you saw my previous video with the haul of lace I found at our antique fair, this is what I had looked at. I think it was like the last one. So if you want to fast forward to that in my last video, you'll get to this. And it was kind of a grungy white and stiff and cotton crochet, hand crocheted, really cool, vintage. But, you know, I don't know. It just reminded me, though, of like fish scales or like a mermaid's tail. And so I mentioned it and I did it. I spray painted it. I wet it first, and so that the paint would absorb and not be as intense, I think, more than just absorbing, because it would have absorbed with it dry, but that it wouldn't be so intense and that the different colors would fade. So I sprayed aqua, I sprayed green, I sprayed, you know, just a variety that were all in that same color family. And I love the way it finished. I will include a piece of it for this particular journaling kit. And I don't know, I kind of want to keep a piece for myself for when I finally do my own under the sea, seaside, oceany journal and put it on the cover. So because I think it's way cool. Anywho, I think that's just about it. Oh, at the very end of this, you will see a little video clip of those cards, those journaling cards that I did the sewing on. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for sticking in there with me as I kept pulling things out. And I hope you'll check out my Etsy store. Probably tomorrow it will be up so you can see more of the images of the finished kit. And if you have a kit, an idea for a journal that you like and you don't necessarily have the ephemera or the books or the whatever pages it is that you envision and think you'd like to see in there, let me know. I can put together something for you because I got a lot. I got a whole lot of books and pages and goodies. So let me know, and thanks again. Bye-bye.